Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
And I'm Zach.
And today we are reviewing Angel's Envy, which is a first for us.
Yep. First one.
First one. So that's super cool. This one is a rye finished in ice cider cask. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. All right, there you go.
Couldn't get it out. It was like tongue-tied on there. So this is an Angel's Envy product. And should be good, hopefully. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Maybe.
So this is part of their Cellar collection. They've done some others where they've had, like that Japanese finish one. I always want to say
Madura.
I don't know. I always say the golf club, like whatever the golf clubs are, the Mizunos. I always say it's like the Mizuno bottle.
It's a Mizuno bottle.
And I know it's not. So in the comments below, just go ahead and just correct me on whatever it is. And, if you play in golf, you like those irons or clubs or whatever.
Yeah.
Just know. So subscribe and like while you're there.
Always good.
So traditionally, for me, and I won't say why, I will say why. I'm not a big Angel's Envy fan, and it's because I had a bad experience.
Really? What happened?
I mean, it's amazing what happens whenever you go and you drink like 2/3 of a bottle in one night by accident, and then you realize I drank 2/3 of a bottle in one night. And needless to say, after that, I haven't had any.
I had citrus vodka that same way too.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I ain't had citrus vodka in a long, long time.
It just happens.
It does.
I was a younger man. I'm a changed man now. So, but anyway, so back to this. So this here's what's really funny. I was actually at Cox's Evergreen whenever they were releasing this, and I didn't go. They had like 1,000 of these bottles down there, and it's a block over. I'm like, I'm not really too interested in it. And then everybody who I've talked to has really liked it. So I was like, fine, if I can get a bottle, I'll try it. And I was lucky enough to get a bottle. So
we're lucky enough to try it.
Exactly. So really quick, this is 107 proof. It's aged. It's 7-year-old rye, like their Angel's Envy rye whiskey that was then finished in the ice cider cask.
For just shy of a year.
Just shy of a year. 364 days.
364.
Yep. So, and here's the best part about it. There was a little card in there. And whenever there's cards in the boxes,
we love story time.
We get story time with Dave. Yeah.
Story time with Uncle Dave. So I could read this, but the truth is, reading is boring. I wish they made a movie about this, and then we could just watch the movie with it.
It's hard for some people.
It is hard. So anyway, this was created by the co-founder. His name's Wes Henderson, and his children, his sons. It's again, he's already said it. It's a 95% rye mash bill. It's their rye just finished the way that he said it. And basically, these ice cider casks are from Vermont. And it's some, I've never even heard of this apple, but, whatever. It's a Northern Spy apple. Tell us what a Northern Spy apple is and what it's similar to. Is it like a Gala or a Fuji or a Honeycrisp? I don't know. I mean,
Honeycrisp are amazing.
Yeah, Honeycrisp are good, but they're also expensive. maybe that's why. Maybe the what do they call it? The Northern Spy is expensive like the Honeycrisp, and that's why this comes in a whopping $240.
That's how much I paid for it.
So anyway, that's the story. Really not much story to it, but anyway, people like to put cards in there. I don't know if that makes people feel better about it. That they get to know that.
I do want to say before we start with the notes and the tasting and all of that stuff. First off, the box is overall pretty nice, and the presentation of it, whenever it opens up, we'll have pictures of it and stuff in there. It's actually like really nice. Like, yes, it's technically like paper, like cardboard. This is really nice. This gives nice tasting notes on the back.
We also had a pretty good freak out about Four Roses box 20-year, and it's basically the same.
No, that 20-year box isn't as nice as this.
No, it's not as nice. But what I'm saying is,
same material,
it's paper. Yeah,
but you can do it the right way.
Yeah.
I will also say the glass itself, the bottle with that, like the frost.
That's from the Northern Vermont winters.
Yeah. Outstanding. Not him. The bottle.
Oh,
the
man.
bottle itself, though, super nice.
It is.
Really well put together. I totally give Angels Envy this. The packaging of everything is spot on. I'm cool with paying extra money for the packaging when it's this nice. Because that thing sitting on a bar is going to look beautiful. So
it also gave us an idea of maybe a potential future video at the end of the year where we may have like a decision to make it who has the coolest packaging of the bottles at the end of the year. So it could be fun. We'll see who wins. But right now the early odds on favorite is the Angels Envy.
No doubt.
Ice cider cask.
So while we're sitting here nosing and tasting it, so everybody says that this came from MGP, is sourced from MGP, because it's where they get a lot of their sourcing from. There's actually a really big rumor going around, and it came from like credible people who I would trust.
Yeah.
So like I trust that they wouldn't just say this. This is actually New Riff. So think of that. Like I don't know if any of that's true. That's just a rumor floating around. But
all we need now is to put a Lego on top of this and put some wax on it.
Oh, anyways.
Cheers. First of all, we didn't actually talk about the nose of this.
No, not at all. We've sat here and goofed off the entire video.
That is true. But I feel like this stands true with all Angel Envy product that I've dealt with. The nose is underwhelming to me.
Really?
Yeah. Like I don't get a lot out of it. Like I can't.
I think the note. Like first off, I think the apple's there. Do you get?
I do get the apple, as you should get the apple since it is aged in a cider cask. So
okay, fair.
But everything else is.
I feel like, okay, so whenever you go to the most magical place on earth, Disney World, right?
I do. I've been there several times.
And whenever you spend everything that's in your retirement account to go there, you go up to get one of these caramel apples, right? And like they're super fresh, and they literally will just pull them out of the caramel in there sometimes, and you can get it like right when it's just starting to harden. I feel like that's it. Like there's like a little bit of nuttiness on there, like they've sprinkled some nuts on that caramel apple. Now
that I'm sniffing on it for 5 minutes here, I can get a little bit of that, but the apple is definitely the prevalent.
I'm just saying the caramel apple with like nuts sprinkled on top. That is like the number one thing I get, and it's hard. It's almost hard for me to get around it on the nose. Like you do get like a little bit of oak. But I mean, it's just so much. I don't get hardly anything rye. Like I really like whenever I go to nose that, I don't get any kind of like traditional rye notes like mint or dill or anything else like that. They're just, to me, they're not there. Now I will say what's crazy is on the palate, I don't get like any of that note. Like what I get on the nose, it's not there. I get so much more pepper. The rye really kind of starts to pop out from that. There's a little bit of like green apple there, but it's a lot more pepper, cinnamon, a lot more baking spice. A little bit of like a honey crisp note, I think.
The apple, which I would think would be prevalent through all of it. Mm-hmm. I just don't feel like it's there in the palate the way I thought it would be.
I agree. So I would have thought that the apple on this would have been the dominating note on it.
Yeah, for sure. I thought 100% that
it's not there.
Mm-mm. No, I do get a little bit of like butterscotchy kind of. It definitely doesn't feel like a rye.
That is true. That actually I agree with. It's because normally, like Angels Envy rye is so sweet. It's like almost overwhelmingly
and it would
sweet.
it would make me hesitant to think that this was MGP because there's not really a mintiness to it.
No, there's that traditional 95 rye MGP where you get mint and dill from that. Like, you don't get any of that. But I don't know. Like, let me say this: so that it being a finished product like how it is, you don't know how that's
how that affected
and stuff like that.
Sure.
So,
surprisingly, the finish on it is, to me, it's a pretty long finish. Like,
oh yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
it is a nice long finish. The rye really kind of pops up on the palate, more on the backside. The more I have of it, and that finish too, like that spice just is there. There's a little bit of earthiness.
There's that honey crisp that you were talking about a little bit right there.
It's just like that hint of sweetness that's there.
Yeah,
it's kind of.
And I think the butterscotch. I think those two mixing, like that twinge, because butterscotch seems a little salty to me, but at the end of it, it has a little sweetness to it. Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's different. It's extremely, extremely different.
I don't hate it.
Oh no, I don't hate it either.
No, I don't hate it, but I don't know.
Let me say this: there are going to be people out there that love this, like love it, and then there are going to be people that I don't think care for it.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be something that
it's polarizing.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be something that's it's just so different. Like, I don't know of anything else that has a nice cider cask finish.
No.
If you do, please put in the comments. I swear, if there's like 1,000 of them.
Listen, we finish with an ice cider all the time.
You've never had the Buffalo Trace ice cider finish?
I mean,
but
where have you been living? Under a rock?
Yeah. But it is very, very different. It is. But the good thing is about this, like whenever you try it, I think it's actually, so it's 107 proof, and I think that proof is kind of perfect for it. I think if it was more, I think that proof would kind of I think it would almost be too much. But I think if it was less, some of the notes that are enjoyable on this wouldn't pop up, like that honey crisp note, that apple note, stuff like that, I don't think would be there. So I think it's kind of a good note, or a good proof. So, but it is different. I will tell you this. For me, I would tell you to try before, if you have the ability to. Now, this is obviously going to be a very limited release by Angels MD. I think there's like 6,000 bottles.
If you find it in a bar, it's going to be probably $25 a pour.
It's exactly $25 for at Nulu.
Yeah.
So now Nulu has some of the better prices around our area that we go to.
For sure, they do. They definitely.
You might, some bars are probably going to pay double. If I'm
maybe 40, 45.
So
50.
But yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely a try. I think it is really good. I'll say this: it's my favorite release of their Cellar release. What are you going with there? Except for some of their cask strength releases that they've done. I've really enjoyed some of their cask strength releases.
Yeah.
But for their limited release, I do really like it.
I'm unsure. I like the finish. So when push comes to shove, if the finish is satisfying, I must like it in some way.
Let me ask you a question. If this bottle was $150 instead of $240, would you feel different about it?
Yes.
You see, I am the exact same way.
Yes.
And I hate being like that because I don't like pricing being like a big factor in my decision if I like the stuff that's in the bottle.
Yeah.
But man, I do wish it was like $150 compared to $240. Now, I say that, and it's like double on the secondary. So, that's also a hard kind of price too. But
I feel like because these are so limited, that's the way.
Well, that's just how
it happens with all
the industry is.
Yeah.
Like that's just how.
But if people have enjoyed this one, it'll keep that secondary value because your Mizuno one, nobody really. I mean, I guess some people liked it, but a lot of people did not like it. And
I'll tell you right now, I tried it once, and I thought it was one of the worst things I've ever had.
And so the secondary value went.
Oh yeah,
and people were trying to get rid of it, and they couldn't get rid of it because
beautiful packaging with that one too.
Yeah, they do a great job of packaging for sure. But I think that's kind of where they hang their hat as well. They're about presentation, not just of the liquid inside, but they're I think equally as concerned about the packaging.
Yeah,
because they know like this is going to sit on somebody's bar, and it's going to look really cool.
It looks fantastic.
Whether they drink it or not,
yeah,
it's going to look cool, and people are going to go, "What is that bottle?"
Yeah, no,
I mean, what is that? And you're going to look at it and you go, "Well, that's an Angel's Envy ice cider cask. It's the coolest bottle they make," which 100% it is. I'm going to figure out how I can frost a bottle at the house because I do have an Angel's Envy at the house. I'm going to try to frost the bottom of it.
All right. So what are you ultimately? I'm going to try.
I would say try it because you may like it.
That would be why you would try something.
You may like it.
And with that, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know that I'd ever buy it just because of the price point because I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I really like the finish.
I'm happy I have it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. The more, like, for me, I'm happy that I was able to get one.
Yeah.
It is very different. Like, we've had a couple different things so far this year. And I'm actually kind of, like, really happy with it. So, but
I'd like to revisit this in a couple months and try it again and just see how my opinion changes about it. Because, again, I don't hate it. But anyway, till next time.
Till next time.
Yeah, we'll see you.
See you.